Why settle for grifting one crowd when you can grift two? That's apparently the motto these days for Harry and Meghan Markle, the self-proclaimed humanitarian power couple of Montecito, who have once again outdone themselves. This time, they turned a Remembrance Weekend into a double-feature PR spectacle. First, they attended the Baby2Baby Gala in West Hollywood, rubbing elbows with Serena Williams before darting off to Kris Jenner's 70th birthday bash at Jeff Bezos' lavish Beverly Hills mansion. Because why honor veterans when you can honor Kris Jenner, right? Picture this: Hollywood glam, a non-profit gala, a few true A-listers, and then Harry and Meghan walk in as if auditioning for The Crown, the Montecito years. Meghan sported her usual minimalist black outfit, which somehow looked like something you'd find in a clearance rack experiment. The top was midnight blue, the skirt black, and together they seemed to whisper, "I got ready in the dark. The lint situation's catastrophic." She looked like she'd rolled around with her rescue beagle before hopping into the car. But hey, she's a minimalist when it comes to color, not effort. Harry, on the other hand, was doing his version of cosplay. He looked like a slightly confused British duke at an LA party, sporting a classic tuxedo. Ever since Prince William wore one in Rio for Earthshot, Harry has been on a mission to prove he can rock velvet too. Sadly, his version screamed, "Divorced dad dragged to prom," rather than royal chic. Harry has a habit of copying William's moves 6 months later, and this velvet blazer is just the latest in a long list of royal-inspired moments. Empty gaze? Check. Copy on the lapel? Double check. And what says solemn remembrance more than wearing a war memorial symbol to a Kardashian party? Somewhere in London, King Charles was probably clutching his teacup in despair. Back to Meghan. You know how stylists say black is timeless? They probably didn't mean this black. Her outfit looked like she raided 2 different discount bins at Ross. The skirt and top weren't even the same shade. One was blue-black, the other jet-black, creating a look that screamed, "Accidental goth intern." Meghan went full stealth mode, blending into the background so well that she looked like a floating head in photos. Fashion critics were ruthless. Meghan's mismatched outfit was roasted as cheap and last minute. Viewers spotted lint, dandruff, and a fake tan line stopping mid-thigh. One comment summed it up perfectly. She turned up to the event and said, "Good enough." Meanwhile, Harry proudly wore his poppy to a party because nothing honors fallen soldiers like sipping champagne next to Kim Kardashian. You can almost hear his internal monologue. Service is universal, especially when there's an open bar. Now let's talk optics. On one side of the Atlantic, the Princess of Wales is standing with Prince George and King Charles, honoring the nation's heroes in a stunning Alessandra Rich dress. On the other, Meghan is adjusting her too tight wrap skirt while Kris Jenner blows out candles shaped like the number 70. Subtle contrast, huh? This isn't even about taste anymore. It's about self-awareness, or the lack thereof. Wearing a poppy to a Kardashian party isn't just tone-deaf. It's almost performance art. It's like showing up to a funeral in sequins. Harry's body language said it all. Part hostage, part chauffeur, fully miserable. Even body language experts couldn't miss it. The man looked like he'd rather be back in Afghanistan. Meanwhile, Meghan was in her element. Flashbulbs, famous faces, and the whiff of influencer perfume in the air. It's her natural habitat. You could practically see her mentally drafting the Instagram captions. Such an inspiring evening with dear friends. Of course, the invite to Bezos' mansion was the real prize. Let's be honest, this wasn't about charity or remembrance. It was about access. Tom Bower, royal author extraordinaire, even said it. Meghan's been on a mission to land A-list invites, and she finally did it, Kris Jenner's party. That's Beverly Hills gold. But the irony? Kris posted about 20 photos from her birthday bash. And guess who didn't make the cut? Yep, the Montecito power couple. No photo with Kris, no group shot, nothing. It's like they never existed. Ouch. These two were supposedly super busy that night, attending 2 parties in one evening. Because why just crash one event when you can awkwardly attend 2 and still end up forgotten at both? Meghan probably spent the night calculating which angle would get her best PR coverage, while Harry tried to remember if he still technically had a job. And the kids? Nowhere again. The Sussex offspring apparently stayed home with their nannies or, as the snarkier corners of the internet claim, stand-in child actors. For a couple preaching family values, they sure spend a lot of time kid-free. As for Harry's look, where do we start? The hair, too long, too thin, too greasy. The beard, uneven and tragic. The vibe, exhausted ex-prince who looks like he hasn't showered in weeks. Meanwhile, in the UK, William, Catherine, Charles, and Camilla were literally standing in silence, honoring fallen heroes. The 12-year-old Prince George is already doing more meaningful public service than his 41-year-old uncle. One family embodied duty, the other, delusion. But sure, let's pretend the Sussexes are redefining royalty for the modern age. If by modern, you mean influencer-tier clout chasing, Meghan's clearly got a checklist. Oprah, check. Serena, check. Kardashians, finally, check. The woman's one Met Gala invite away from completing her final form. It's almost sad, though. For all the talk of freedom and authenticity, they're working harder than ever to stay relevant. Their brand is like a Netflix series nobody asked for. You keep waiting for something real to happen, but all you get are PR stunts and awkward photo ops. Let's call this what it is: image rehab through association. Meghan wants to be seen as part of the A-list elite, and Harry's the emotional support husband, lugging around his poppy and his dignity like mismatched accessories. They're not changing the world. They're chasing the guest list. By the end of the night, Meghan was grinning like she'd just discovered a new sponsorship deal, while Harry looked like he'd been tricked into attending. No wonder Kris Jenner didn't post their photo. By the next morning, the memes had multiplied. "Didn't anyone tell Harry and Meghan Halloween's over?" one tweet read. Another quipped, "Meghan waited her whole life for this invite, only to be cropped from every photo." Even the Daily Mail joined in, quoting experts calling Harry fed up with being paraded and Meghan desperate for attention. And just when you think they can't sink lower, they'll probably pop up next week at another gala. This time for some vague cause like sustainable candlelight for mindful pets. Anything to stay in the headlines. Meanwhile, the actual royals will keep doing their thing. Serving, remembering, because that's what royals do. What the Sussexes do is something else entirely. The world's longest celebrity rebrand, powered by delusion and self-importance. So yes, why grift one crowd when you can grift two? The Harkles are living proof that when you trade duty for dopamine hits, every weekend becomes another opportunity to smile for the cameras, wear mismatched black outfits, and remind the world that you're still technically royal, if only in your own minds.